everyone, this is Colleen here. Welcome back, Colleen Clan, or if you're new, then come join the family for episode 3 of my HerUniverse Fashion Show build vlog thing. In the previous 2 episodes, I got accepted into the HerUniverse Fashion Show. I started working on my design for Carmen Sandiego from the Carmen Sandiego Netflix series, and I finished up the bodysuit. And I also finished up the mock-up. And in this episode, I'm going to be finishing the coat with this beautiful red pleather. Oh my. I covered the collar in pleather just as a test, and like, look how gorgeous. Oh, okay, this gives me hope. This gives me hope. Yay. So we'll see if it takes to the shape of the shoulder just as well as it did to the collar. Ta-da! The shoulder piece is done. Oh, it got such a smooth shape. Look how smooth. Just look at that, and how it got like this curvature at the top. So next is to take our cotton mock-up. That's what this is right here. Tear it all apart and start cutting it out in the pleather. This may actually like convince me to start doing mock-ups more. I know, okay. So if you're new, I do not do mock-ups. I just avoid mock-ups with a passion, but this design was so intense, I knew I needed to do a mock-up. I actually ended up doing 2 full versions of this mock-up, but after doing all the work for the mock-up, everything is going so smoothly. Like, guys, this may convert me to someone who does mock-ups. It is Monday, May 3rd at about 7:30 in the morning. We are ahead of schedule! Yay! We're ahead of schedule now. I am still missing this front panel right here because there needs to be a zipper down the center. So it is looking good. It's looking good. So my next course of action will be to cut out the lining. So I was hoping I could just cover the bodice and the sleeve with a nice soft lining fabric and it would be more comfortable. It's Tuesday at 6 in the morning and our smoke alarm is out of batteries. So it's been making that beep sound since 4 in the morning. So it's been a little bit of an off morning this morning, and there's a lot of beeping going on in this home, but that's okay, it's okay. My next course of action is I want to find a stiffener to put in the lining. The lining fabric is somewhere in this pile, unfortunately. This is what it's like, guys. You spend a few $100s on really nice fabric, and then it just kind of sits in like a literal pile in your craft room until you can get to it. There's the lining fabric. There it is. That beeping is going to get really annoying pretty soon here. And before you say anything, no, I do not have a 9-volt battery. I don't. We actually don't have a 9-volt battery in the entire home. And it's 6 in the morning, so nowhere is open to go acquire a 9-volt battery. Just want to make that clear. As I was saying, this is the lining fabric. It's pretty thin, so I was planning on putting a stiffener in here just so it has the same sort of thickness as the pleather, and I'm sewing 2 things of the same thickness together and the same weight together. that means I will have to venture into there. Now the thing about my cosplay closet is I told myself when I finished Orin I was gonna do a deep clean through, I was gonna sell a bunch of stuff, and 2 days after I finished Orin, I was informed that I had 6 weeks to finish Carmen. So guess what? I never went through and sold stuff or cleaned stuff out. And as you can see, things have just gotten messier. Anyways, that's a long way to say I'm scared to go in there, but we have to. I was able to just barely fit all of the pieces onto this black felt. So I'm just gonna cut that up and use up all of this black felt fabric. I cut this piece out backwards. So it does not work right now. It was cut out backwards. Or I might look for a difference, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm going crazy because there's a beeping like literally every minute and I don't have enough felt because I cut this out backwards, okay? That's how I'm doing. I got the 9-volt battery. There's finally peace and quiet in the craft room again. But I figured if I was going to go to the store at 7 in the morning to get 9-volt batteries, I might as well look for felt. Like, felt isn't something that's like can only be found at a fabric store or anything. So this will be my stiffener for the coat lining. Ugh. But I think I will wait till tomorrow to get into that. I've had quite enough for this morning. 6 a.m. on May 5th, and today's a better day. Today is a better day. So I got all the felt and the lining cut out for our bodice and sleeve piece, and all of the skirt pieces are in the pleather and those are ready to be sewn together. Here's the lining layer. I will say I do think this color combo is absolutely gorgeous. So unfortunately it's being hidden in the lining and you're not going to be able to see it, but this is much more comfortable than having my skin pressed against pleather on like a hot summer day when we're filming this. I accidentally sewed over a pin. Oh, that was the problem. Oops. It is Thursday, May 6th at 6 in the morning. You know when you're making a costume, right? An accurate costume, or however accurate you want to be, and you look at the reference picture, whether it be from anime or comics, whatever, and you look at it and you're like, wow, this person clearly doesn't know how fabric works. Or this person doesn't know how clothing works. And I was looking at my design and I didn't draw in any belt loops for the belt. And I'm like, no, I'm that designer that doesn't know how clothing works. I drew in the belt loops for the sleeve, but I didn't draw in any belt loops for the waist belt. And you know, I just don't think that belt is gonna stay up if I don't have belt loops. The thing about belt loops is I really want to get them attached before I combine these layers. Otherwise, when I sew the belt loop down, I'm gonna have to sew through both layers. Whereas if I do it now, I can just sew the belt loop through the top layer. So today's goal is to make a bunch of belt loops for the waist and then some for the sleeves and add those on. Now this is a look. Belt loops are attached. Right now I'm holding it together with a pair of pants This is a pair of leggings. So let's finally put on that last panel, which has just been sitting on my floor. I know, it's a look with the Batman pajamas, but just bear with me, okay? I made an oopsie when I sewed the zipper on. I missed this back piece here, but no one will know. No one will know. We're just gonna take our needle and just kind of hand tack that down, and it'll still look really nice on the front. No one will know. All that's left is finishing up the hem, and probably, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to hand sew all of this together, unfortunately. And then I'm gonna have to finish up the sleeve too. But this is getting really close to being done. I love how it looks, so we're doing good, guys. It is Sunday, May 9th at 8 in the morning. You'll notice that I skipped Saturday. I actually did not enter this room all of Saturday. This design project has definitely taken a bit of a physical and mental toll on me. And I decided that yesterday I was gonna take the whole day off because I'm ahead of schedule. I think I'm gonna get this done on time, and I needed a day. I needed a day off. It was a beautiful day. I spent the entire day outside with my husband. This project has been really hard. So the goal for today, so I would just want to get everything done except the neckline. So then on Monday I can finish up the neckline, I can get some more supplies and do the hat. Would be like still ahead of schedule. That would be a great goal. Hello again, it is still Sunday. I have finished the hand stitching on the sleeve. It took me an entire hour just to hand stitch that sleeve in place. So I can already tell it's probably gonna take multiple hours for the collar. But what we're doing now is kind of fun. Here's my button stash. Ooh, my. So I get to pick out 2 buttons from my stash to put onto the coat. And the buttons do need to be pretty big just because it's a pretty heavyweight coat. Now I've looked through all of these quite a few times, and these are the ones I like. Here we go. This is the button that I am going with. It's a nice gold. It just has a simple spiral shape to it. So I'm gonna use 2 of these and put them at the top of our coat. Hello everyone, welcome to design work day number 1. I am taking vacation time off work, so I have a whole day today to work on my design. It is 6:43 a.m. already, so I am starting a little bit later than I usually do. So to start the day off, I am printing out the hat pattern. I had a few other personal things I needed to print off. So I got the cowboy hat pattern from Cosplay.com. She has a whole bunch of really good foam patterns, not sponsored or anything. Usually I don't allow myself to use other cosplayers' patterns because I'm making tutorials from it. And me making a tutorial just repeating like what another cosplayer has done just doesn't really work. Like I need my tutorials to be my own original content as much as they can, right? I'm gonna get everything printed, I'm gonna feed my birds, and then we're gonna jump into the coat. And the coat will hopefully get done today, and then I have some errands to run, and then I would like to get started on the hat. So that is everything we have going on today, along with a few other chores and miscellaneous things. It has taken me about 30 minutes to hand stitch this much. That's like 2 inches. It took me like 30 minutes to hand stitch 2 inches. But I'm gonna have to hand stitch the whole coat. It's gonna take forever. Like, look, I've only hand stitched this much. It has been about 2 hours and I'm about 1/3 of the way done. I've hand stitched up to like here. So we're making progress, but my fingers are on fire. It's like 10 o'clock now. So everything's open so I can go run errands. I can pick up the extra foam for the hat. Just a quick update, it is noon. I haven't done anything more on Carmen, but I did run all my errands. I went shopping. So I got more of this sewable foam stuff to make the belts. And I got another whole sheet of EVA foam for the hat. And then I'm trying out the Soft Comfort Thimble. At this point I have like 5 hours left to sew the last 2/3 of the collar. I think I can do it. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna take a little lunch break and we're gonna come back and we are gonna sew this thing. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on my design work day. I'm close to done. I just have this left. I spent, from what I can tell, at least 4 hours, if not 5, hand sewing today, and I didn't finish. And in some places, like up in the shoulder here, I was going through like maybe like 8 layers of pleather, because in the shoulder area I have darts and it's layered up a bit. So it was slow, tedious work. So I'm gonna finish that probably tomorrow morning, but the coat is basically done. And then I'm gonna get into making the hat and making some of the accessories, and that will be in the next segment of my HerUniverse Fashion Show build. Thank you for watching. Bye!